2015 is set to be the worst year for diversity at the Oscars since 1998. Every single actor nominated is white. Not even the actors critically acclaimed for Selma and Get On Up got Oscar nods, and not a single woman was nominated in the categories of writing, directing, cinematography, score, or visual effects. Kim, is discrimination in Hollywood getting worse?
Well, I mean, it's definite because it's apparent this award season, because if you go see Selma and you don't see what an amazing film that is, what amazing directorship that was, what amazing cast and crew, and they don't get nominated for that film, racism exists. And sexism. Let me go on and add that in too, because I'm a female. I know y'all think I'm black, but I am white.
You black, but you white.
But listen. I do think it was a snub, for sure. And you know what? Shame on you. Shame on you, Hollywood.
I think Hollywood, and this is a touchy subject because I'm a person that obviously is in the business and you can't bite the hand that feeds you type of thing, but I think what the real question is, or the real issue is, there are not enough stories given for diversity, for African Americans, for Latin American communities. So I think that needs to be the issue that's addressed. Even today now, there are movies that are being made for the mainstream audience that, you know, for example, happen to an African American, but yet they'll tell the story from a mainstream white person's perspective. So I think that needs to be the issue that's addressed. And then I think we'll start to see more individuals like David Oyelowo that did a fantastic job.
He got robbed.
Fantastic job.
Yeah. Paula?
Well, all prejudice is an injustice.
Right.
So I am very sensitive to racial diversity because I have always been against discrimination in all areas. Mm-hmm. So to pander to status quo is just not acceptable. And that's inclusive of the highly esteemed Oscars and Academy Awards. So my take is, was Hollywood, are they patting themselves on the back from last year's wins? Or was this random?
No, there's just a bunch of old white guys sitting there making the decisions. That's what really is.
I'm glad you can say that. Thank you, Kim. Thank you.
In all arenas, we have made some strides. I mean, for the 20 years, as we look back at history, but we have a long way to go. Yeah. And that's what we have to really pay attention to.
I agree with that. We have made strides. But here's the problem. Here's why people complain. Frederick Douglass one time said, there is not a person living who would feel that slavery is right for them. Mm-hmm. Which it just goes, now you bring it up to modern day. It becomes very pointed if it's happening to you. But if it doesn't happen to you, you just desensitize yourself and act like it don't exist. If you're not, if you're not a racist person, that does not mean it doesn't exist. Right. Mm-hmm. Hollywood is just par for the course. Mm-hmm. I've seen it over and over and over. I get tired of complaining about it.
Mm. Yeah.
I was making a statement against racism one time on Twitter, and a lady texted me and said, how can you say there's racism? You host a game show.
How do the two compare?
Well, what the hell?
And?
Because I got a game show, that means Hollywood ain't got no racism in it? It doesn't make any sense. But people in their world, if it doesn't exist in their world, they claim it is that it just doesn't exist.
But that's why it was so
unfair.
Important for them to nominate Selma, so that people that don't think it exists go and see that and see the history, regardless if you think racism exists or not.
Yeah, I agree. And you know, like television is making some strides, but then it go back the other way sometimes. Like now you see a black woman on TV who's playing the president of the United States in Head of State. You know, and they're starting to show things like that on TV that makes you go, wow, they kind of getting it. But it's still more work to be done because TV should have the same balance that this country has. Mm-hmm. If you see, how, like I say it all the time, how the hell you have a show in New York City called Friends and ain't no damn black people on there? Just go to New York one time and let me know how far you can walk and don't see nobody black. Just show me that.
Oh, Lord.
That don't make no sense, man. So, you know.
I was gonna say,
Go ahead.
doesn't that go back to really rooting and saying we've got to look at the root of this and say, what about the hiring process? What about the creative
I'm saying,
process?
yeah.
What about
The stories
so
that are
it's
being
more
told.
than what we're just seeing right now.
It's
it
a lot.
exists.
It's
yeah.
a lot. It's work to do. There's some ground being made, but it's more work to be done.